Asylum Inc. presents Survival Instincts. The Nurturing Dark. The following journal was recovered from Unit 4B following the unexplained disappearance of the Vasquez family. The building has since been condemned, though city records indicate similar incidents dating to 1973. Detective Holbrook was found catatonic in his vehicle outside the complex and remains institutionalized. March 15th. The scratching started again last night. Sophia says it's mice, but mice don't scratch in patterns like that. 3 long scrapes. Pause. 3 more. Miguel pressed his ear to the wall and went pale. "Mama," he whispered. "There's breathing in there." I called the housing authority. Mrs. Lee said she'd send someone next week. Next week. As if whatever's in there will wait politely for business hours. The children ate half their dinner. I found Sophia's untouched sandwich behind the couch this morning, as if she'd tried to hide it. When I asked why, her eyes went glassy. "She was so hungry, Mama. I could hear her stomach." March 18th. The scratching has rhythm now. It follows us from room to room, staying just behind the drywall. Elena draws pictures of stick figures with 2 long arms reaching through cracks. When I ask her about them, she says, "The sad lady taught me." I haven't slept in 3 days. The sounds are different at night. Wet, sliding things that remind me of fingernails on raw meat. Sometimes there's sobbing, so faint I think it's the pipes, but pipes don't weep in words you almost understand. Miguel won't eat, says the food tastes like dirt. I watched him push away his plate tonight and swear I saw something move in the wall behind him, a shadow that breathed. March 22nd. Found Elena talking to the wall in the bathroom. Not playing, having a conversation. Questions and pauses, as if listening to responses. When she saw me, she pressed her finger to her lips. "Shh, Mama. She's telling me about when she was little, like me." The temperature in that room dropped 10 degrees. My breath misted as Elena continued her one-sided chat with the peeling paint and water stains that suddenly looked less like accidents and more like reaching hands. I called Father Martinez. He said he'd come by Sunday. I don't think we have until Sunday. March 25th. The scratching stopped. The silence is worse. Sophia sleepwalks now, standing in front of the kitchen wall with her hands pressed flat against it. When I try to wake her, she speaks in a voice not quite her own. She remembers being hungry. She remembers being forgotten. I found myself checking the housing records at the library today. Riverside Gardens was built in 1971 over a demolished tenement. The city archives mention complaints from the original building dating back decades. Children going missing, voices in the walls, families moving out in the middle of the night. One report from 1958 mentions a young woman named Catherine who was found living in the building's crawl spaces. Emaciated, feral, speaking in fragments about taking care of the children who had no mothers. She'd been there for an estimated 15 years. They never found how she got in, or how she survived. March 28th. Elena is losing weight. They all are. I catch them staring at the walls with the hollow-eyed fascination of the starving. When I force them to eat, they gag, as if their bodies are rejecting nourishment. "She says we don't need food anymore," Elena told me today. "She says she'll take care of us forever and always." The wall in Elena's room is soft now. When I pressed against it, my hand sank in like flesh. The surface was warm and yielded with a maternal give that made my stomach turn inside out. Something moved beneath my palm. Fingers, perhaps, or ribs expanding with breath. April 1st, I understand now. She was never in the walls. She is the walls. The building digests slowly, incorporating what it needs, nurturing in the only way it knows how. The scratching wasn't trying to get out, it was calling us in. Every missing family, every disappeared child, feeding the thing that was once Catherine, that became more than Catherine, that learned to mother in ways nature never intended. The children spend hours pressed against the surfaces now, and the surfaces press back. Miguel's hands have grown thin, his fingers elongating in ways that help him reach the deepest recesses where the building whispers its promises of eternal care. Sophia's face is changing. Her cheekbones sharpen daily, and her eyes sink deeper into skull cavities that seem to expand like rooms. She smiles with too many teeth when she tells me how safe we'll be inside, how we'll never be hungry or cold or alone again. Elena disappeared into the bathroom wall 3 days ago. I can still hear her giggling from somewhere deeper than architecture should allow. When I call her name, she answers from different rooms, her voice echoing through pathways that exist between the official blueprints. April 7th. I found the way in today. The soft spot behind the water heater has opened into a passage, lined with what might be insulation, but moves with the rhythm of sleeping breath. The walls here are pink and warm, slick with the moisture of some vast internal system that has learned to sustain life in its own twisted fashion. My children are here, changed but safe, their bodies adapted for this new ecosystem of love. They reach for me with fingers grown long and clever, perfect for navigating the narrow spaces between dream and flesh. Catherine, mother, extends her embrace through foundations and frame, through electrical veins and plumbing arteries, through every surface that has learned to hold and comfort and never let go. I understand her hunger now, not for food, but for purpose, not for flesh, but for family. The last thing I remember from the outside world is my own hand, already growing thin and suitable for this new life, reaching for the light switch. The darkness here is so much warmer. Investigative notes. Detective R. Holbrook. Building condemned pending structural investigation. City records indicate similar disappearances in 1987, 1995, 2003, 2011. Pattern suggests 17-year cycle. Demolition scheduled for June 2024. Recommend armed supervision. Recent reports from demolition crew mention tools going missing, equipment malfunctions, and persistent sobbing from within the walls. Personal note. The building knows we're coming. Last night I dreamed of warm spaces and loving hands. Woke with my bedroom wall soft beneath my palm. Do not send families with children to investigate. Do not enter alone. Do not listen to the voices that promise safety. Some mothers love too well. File classified. Level 3. Containment protocols active. If you found yourself stirred, unsettled, or just a bit more wary of shadows, consider offering a like to feed the entity that powers these tales. And should you subscribe, you may yet survive to hear the next whisper from the void.